Awesome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cook with Coach. And as I always have one question for you, what's for dinner? What is for dinner? That is the question that most people have to answer every single day. What's for dinner? And the terrible thing is, those of us in America, we usually don't know. Statistically, 80% of Americans don't know what's for dinner by 4 p.m. every day. 4 o'clock. Can you imagine at 4 o'clock trying to decide what you're going to make for your family, what you're going to make for dinner? Listen, that is stress. That is unnecessary stress. So I'm going to try and make that a little easier for you today by sharing with you one of my absolute favorite dinner time recipes. It is so easy. It is so simple. And also it is so satisfying and so filling. You are going to love it. So tonight, if anybody asks what's for dinner, we are making a dinner bowl. And you've probably heard it by many other names: Buddha bowls, Nourish bowls, Power bowls, dinner bowls, whatever you want to call it. It is delicious, yes? So I'm going to teach you tonight how to make a dinner bowl. And the reason I love these is because they're so versatile. They're so nutritious. They are fully loaded, as you are going to see tonight. And so hopefully you have got pen and paper in hand. I hope that you have pen and paper in hand, because you're going to want to take notes on how to prepare this, okay? You are going to want to take notes. So I'm going to share with you the 7 components. There are 7 components to a dinner bowl. And I'm also going to share with you all of the amazing Epicure seasonings that I'm going to use to make tonight's bowl. I'm also going to share with you all of the awesome cookware tools and utensils that I'm going to use to make tonight's bowl. So hopefully you are prepared, you are ready, you are kicked back, you're going to take some fantastic notes, right? So welcome to Cook with Coach. Tonight we are making a salmon bowl, a teriyaki salmon bowl. Now I gave my community the opportunity to choose. You guys voted on what you wanted the protein to be, and you all said you wanted salmon. So we are doing salmon tonight, and I'm excited about it. So first things first, I want to go ahead and share with you the 7 components of a nutritious and fully loaded dinner bowl. Now, I love these bowls because, like I said, they're fully loaded. They are nutritious. They're designed to have everything in the bowl, right? A fully balanced bowl. So you've got your carbs, you've got your protein, you've got your good fats all in one bowl, right? And so it doesn't get any better than that. And it doesn't get any easier than that either. Now, the good thing is you can prep this beforehand. You can prep all the ingredients beforehand so that you can put bowls together all week long if you want to. And that is the goal, yes? To make it easy and to make it fast. So if you are taking notes, I'm going to give you all 7 components of the bowl, and then we're going to cook, right? We're going to make this bowl so you can see just how beautiful it turns out and how nutritious and fully loaded it is. It's gonna have everything that your body needs, right? Antioxidants, phytonutrients. We're gonna have the rainbow in here, every color you can imagine, because that's good for your cells and good for your heart, right? So we're gonna put all of that in one bowl, and we're gonna pull it together with a banging sauce, because you know Epicure makes banging sauces. They are epic. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you're taking notes, there are 7 components of a qualified, nutritious, banging dinner bowl. The very first component is a base. You have to have a base. And in this case, we are using rice. I'm using an actual jasmine rice. You can use brown rice. You can use lentils. You can use quinoa. You can use noodles if you want. A good soba noodle or a yakisoba would be great in this instance. You can use literally any kind of grain like mullet, anything that you want to use as your base. You can even use lettuce as your base, or use a salad green as your base, but you need a base. And tonight we are going to use rice. And I'm going to prepare that for you in our steamer while we are doing this. And so you need a base. You need something hearty, something good to hold all this goodness, right? And then number 2, you're going to need some cooked vegetables, right? And I have here in our 4-cup bowl, Those of you who are on, in the Cook with Coach community and you are always on my website, these bowls are on sale today. This is the 4-cup prep bowl. This is the 1-cup prep bowl. This comes in a set of 4. This comes by itself with a silicone lid. Perfect for salads, perfect for leftovers, perfect for storage. They're on sale today, 20% off. Anyway, so number 2, you're gonna need some cooked vegetables. We have in this bowl, I've got some broccoli, I've got mushrooms, we've got some carrot, there are Brussels sprouts in here, I've got some purple cabbage, there's some Napa cabbage, there's some kale, all kinds of amazing goodness in this bowl. And we're gonna saute this because you want some cooked vegetables. So we've got rice as our base with number 2, cooked vegetables. Number 3 is greens. You wanna make sure that you've got some greens. Now our greens are in the bowl, but you can certainly add greens. You can add a raw green like kale or spinach. You can actually cook down the greens like cabbage, whatever you choose, but we want some greens. Why? Because greens are excellent for your heart. Greens are excellent for your body, right? You want to make sure you get a good dose of greens every single day. So that's number 3. So you got cooked vegetables and you also have greens. Then you want number 4, a raw vegetable. You want to make sure that you have raw in your bowl. You want crunch, you want texture, and of course, anything that's raw is loaded with nutritional benefits that don't cook out, right? And so today we are using some snow peas. I have already had to refill this bowl 3 times because I've been snacking on them all day. I love these little babies, especially with the Epicure Creamy Ranch. They are the perfect snack. But we're gonna use some snow peas on the top of our bowl today. That is number 4, you want raw vegetables. Number 5, you wanna make sure you've got some kind of good fat, right? And so when I say good fat, I mean nuts and seeds, right? So you can use, we're using some slivered almonds today. Almonds always pair well with anything that is Asian, right? So you can use cashews, you can use some raw seeds, you can use any kind of like flax seeds or hemp seeds. You can use pepitas, which I absolutely adore. I actually was going to use those today, but I decided to go with the almonds. But pumpkin seeds that are roasted are perfect. Any kind of good fat, walnuts. And of course, it depends on the kind of bowl that you're doing, right? So if you're doing a Mexican bowl, then you would definitely want to use some pepitas, right? Some pumpkin seeds. If you're doing, say, again, like an Asian bowl like this, cashews would be amazing. So it really depends on the kind of bowl that you're doing. So that's number 5. You've got a base, number 1. Number 2, you've got some cooked vegetables. Number 3, you have greens. Number 4, you have raw vegetables. Number 5, you have nuts and seeds, which is going to give you that good fat. Then number 6, obviously you're going to need a protein. You're going to need a protein. So we have a beautiful, sustainable, well-sourced salmon fillet today, but you could use anything. You could use chicken breast. You could use steak if you have like a nice ribeye or a strip steak. You could use, some shrimp. That was also an option. I let my Cook with Coach community decide what we were going to use tonight. You all voted on salmon, but shrimp is also an option on top of your bowl as protein. And if you are vegetarian and you choose not to go with meat or seafood, you can also use any kind of beans. You can use edamame. You can use black beans or any kind of beans as well to use as a protein. You could even use mushrooms. I have done that before. I have used baby bellas and oyster mushrooms and just a really good rounded conglomerate, so to speak, or a medley of mushrooms, and saute those down and use that as my protein. So you certainly could do that as well. That is number 6. And then number 7, you've got to tie it all together with a good sauce. And we are going to make a teriyaki sauce tonight. So you could use a good sauce. If you are making a Mexican bowl, you could use a great queso, right? We're doing a teriyaki sauce. You could do, a teppanyaki sauce for those of you who like takeout. who love to go to the Asian restaurants and they have that yum yum sauce or that white sauce over the top, Epicure's teppanyaki is perfect to bring this bowl together. You could drizzle it with a salad dressing if you chose to. You could actually do a hollandaise, especially if you're using steak as your protein. We have a really good hollandaise sauce. So you can put a hollandaise over the top. The purpose of the sauce is to take all those flavors that you put together and bring them together in your bite. I'm telling you, the sauce makes all the difference. Do not make your bowl without it. And so those are the 7 components of a nutritious, healthy, really great dinner bowl. So now that you know what's going in it, let's cook. Let's cook. So first things first, we are going to make some rice. And I know you're thinking, you're going to make rice like while you're on camera, we're going to be here all night. No, not when you've got this baby. This is our multi-purpose steamer. Some of you, you've heard me call it the miracle worker. I tell you, it does magic. It does all the things. It roasts, it bakes, it boils, it steams, it thaws. It literally does all the things. It goes in the oven up to 450 degrees. It also goes in the microwave. You literally could roast a 3-pound chicken in this steamer in the microwave in 20 minutes. Now, I know you're thinking what I was thinking when I heard that, like, absolutely not. Chicken in the microwave is rubbery and dry. Not when you cook it in silicone. Silicone is designed to hold in moisture. That chicken comes out perfectly. So we're going to use our steamer tonight. We're going to use it to make rice. And I use it to make rice. Usually I use it a lot to make rice. Is probably the thing that I use it the most for. So I've got a cup of rice here. This is just a cup of jasmine rice. I'm going to pour that in here. And as you know, the ratio is always 2 to 1, right? And so we've got 1 cup of jasmine rice. I have 2 cups of broth. Now this is a low sodium chicken broth. You could certainly use water here if you wanted to. You could even use a vegetable broth here if you wanted to, but we want to give this rice some flavor because it's going to be at the base of our bowl. So I'm going to put 2 cups of a low sodium chicken broth in here. And then I've got some soy sauce because again, this is an Asian bowl, right? So we want to build flavor. We're going to build flavor along the way. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon or so, maybe a little bit more of soy sauce. And then I want to add some flavor as well. So this is our Sesame Crunch topper. For those of you who have been on my website, for those of you who are familiar with Epicure, we have toppers for everything, right? We have toppers for bowls. We have toppers for everything that you could possibly make. And so this bowl is going to be an Asian bowl. So we want to add some Asian flavor to our rice. This has got some white sesame seeds, black sesame seeds. It's got some dried garlic. It has some green pepper, some red pepper, carrot, onion. It's going to give a nice Asian flavor to our rice. And so I'm going to shake just a little bit of this in here. And the beautiful thing about all Epicure seasonings is they're all low sodium, right? So this doesn't actually have any salt in it at all. And not only are they low sodium, they're low sugar and they're gluten-free. So if you want to shake. So we're going to add some more of this to our rice. And then we're just going to, I'm going to pop just a little bit of oil because I like my grains not to stick. This is totally optional. You do not have to add the added oil. I am using an avocado oil, just FYI. I'm going to stick this in the microwave for 15, 16 minutes, and it's going to be ready when it's time for us to build this bowl. So let's get that going. I'm going to put it in there for 16 minutes, and then we're just going to let that go, right? How easy was that? Rice in the microwave, as you see, it's going to be fully cooked. It's going to be fluffy. It's going to be flavorful in 16 minutes. I keep telling you guys, these meals, all of these Epicure meals come together in 20 minutes or less. So if you have long days like me, I'm usually coaching back to back to back all day long. I have a coaching practice. And so I'm usually super busy. I don't have an hour to make dinner, right? I am always looking for shortcuts, and Epicure is my shortcut, 20 minutes or less. And like I said, you can prepare the parts of these bowls and literally put them together for lunch or for dinner all week long. So our rice is going. Now, I told you we need a sauce, right? So we want to make a teriyaki sauce quickly. Now, I know you think teriyaki is bad for you, right? Because when you go to get takeout, it's always so sweet and it's delicious and they load it with brown sugar. Well, we don't have to load it with brown sugar. And trust me when I tell you this teriyaki is going to be amazing. So this is the Epicure teriyaki sauce. I'm going to use this. This is just a seasoning. Again, low sodium, low sugar, right? And as you can see, my bottle's almost empty. So I had to pull out the spare. I have a backup to every backup, by the way. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to follow the directions on the back of the jar. Now that is the most convenient thing. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to search on Google for all of these recipes, right? They're all on the back of the jar. So you can use this as a regular seasoning, which you'll see that we'll do with the salmon. But you can also use it to make a glaze, which is what we're going to do right now. So this is our 4-in-1 measuring spoon. Those of you who are like me, you have about 80 different measuring spoons in all of your drawers, right? You can't ever find a teaspoon. You can't ever find a tablespoon. Or like my husband, you don't know the difference. So he's like, which spoon should I use? I love this thing. It's 4-in-1, right? It's got your tablespoon, it's got your teaspoon, and it's got a 1/2 and 1/4 teaspoon on the back in one tool. If you don't have this, I'm telling you, it's the best $5 or $6 you can spend. So what we're gonna do, and bonus, is designed to fit in our jars, right? It's designed to fit in our jars. So this says that we need 2 tablespoons, which that doesn't fill, right? So we're gonna grab our other jar here. We're gonna need 2 tablespoons of this seasoning. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons in here. It also says I'm going to need 2 tablespoons of red pepper jelly, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and 1 tablespoon of oil for the sauce. Now, if you are a red pepper jelly girl, listen, I was not a red pepper jelly girl. I wasn't, you know how you go to like those little fancy restaurants or you go to like a dinner party or something, everybody has those little hors d'oeuvres that have red pepper jelly on the top. I have never been one to eat them because for whatever reason, I've just not been a fan. But I love the Epicure red pepper jelly. It is the best one that I have tasted. Now, you're probably saying you have to feel that way because you sell it. No, no, I am honest when I say this is the best red pepper jelly I have ever had. And I do not advocate for anything that I am not 100% sold on. And I am 100% sold on this red pepper jelly. It is delicious and it's not overly sweet and it doesn't have a lot of heat. It is the perfectly balanced condiment. And I have people that order this by like literally like 3 or 4 at a time. And so we need 2 tablespoons of the red pepper jelly. It's a tablespoon of oil. So I'm using avocado oil. As you know, avocado and grapeseed are my favorite kinds of oil, simply because they are very mild. They don't carry a flavor like extra virgin olive oil. And they have a very high smoke point, which means I could bake with this, I could saute in it, I could fry in it, and it's avocado oil. So I love that. And then the last thing, there's only 4 ingredients in this glaze, is 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now, for those of you who are allergic to soy, because there are people who are allergic or have chosen not to use soy, you could certainly use coconut aminos and get the exact same results. It's just as delicious. I have done both. Now, this is the Epicure little whisk. It is the best $5 investment you could ever make. I remember when I first got our whisk about a year ago, almost. And my husband was like, what are you going to do with that little thing? Like, how is that little whisk going to be any good? And now he uses it all the time. You can use it to make sauces like this in this little tiny prep bowl, which I love. You could also use it to scramble your eggs in the morning, to whisk up any of the little odd jobs, little small jobs that you don't want to pull out that big wire whisk for. And so look at that, like our sauce, done, right? This is an amazing teriyaki sauce that is not overly sweet, that does not have a whole lot of sugar in it. It doesn't have any added MSG in it. It doesn't have any artificial colorings or dyes or flavorings in it, right? It is perfectly clean, and you can control, the sugar and the salt that you put on the table for your family. This sauce is gonna bring our bowl together perfectly. So exciting. Okay, so that is done. Literally, it took seconds to make that sauce. So now our sauce is done, our rice is going. The only thing that we have to do is cook our veggies, right? Because our snow peas are gonna stay raw, and then our fat, our almonds here, that's gonna give us some good fat. Nuts are excellent for you. They provide good fat for your heart. They're also good for for brain function, especially walnuts. And so you wanna add those to your bowl, but those are raw. We don't have to do anything with those, but we have to cook our vegetables. And like I said, I've got broccoli and carrots. We've got some mushrooms. We've got all the good things in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna saute this in our Epicure wok. Wait, let me show you this, baby. Look at the size of this wok. When you have this wok at home, you do not have to go and get takeout, okay? You can stir fry, you can make your fried rice, you can make your stir fries. Stir fries are excellent for you, right? They're so good for you because they're usually loaded with a ton of vegetables. And if you use a good sauce or a good soy sauce, you don't have to worry about a lot of salt. And like I said, all of Epicure stuff, they're all low sodium, low sugar. So I'm gonna share with you our Asian seasoning that's perfect for your stir fries. But this is the wok. It has a very sturdy, hard bottom. You always want that. And it's got a non-coated top here. The coating is non-stick, so you don't have to worry about anything sticking to it. It's got a tempered glass, right? And it also has a handle with rubber on it, so you don't have to worry about burning your hands when you lift your top. It is perfection. And if you do not have it and you stir fry a lot, you definitely want to check this out on the website. So we're going to go ahead and get that hot. I've got my burner here on high. And we're just gonna stir fry. Now, again, avocado oil, because it can stand the heat. A lot of people will ask me, like, should I not cook with extra virgin olive oil? And the answer to that is right. You should not cook with extra virgin olive oil. It is designed to be a drizzling oil. It is a finishing oil, and it's loaded with nutritious or nutrient. It's very nutrient dense and loaded with nutritious properties. However, when you heat it up, it destroys all the nutritional value. So you want to make sure that you do not use an extra virgin olive oil when you're cooking. It destroys the property the heat does. So something like an avocado oil would be better. We're just going to put that in here and let that get hot. And while that does, I'm going to go ahead and slice up our salmon, and that will be the last thing that we have to make. Now, as you can see, I did use the Epicure cutting mat, right? Why? Because you do not want to cross-contaminate your bowl or your board. If you have a cutting board that you use for vegetables, you do not also want to use it for raw meats, right? Especially if the board is wooden. So you do not want to cross-contaminate, put all the bacteria in your wooden bowl. That's why these little cooking mats or these little cutting mats are perfect. They come in a set of 4. You get 2 little ones like this, and then you get 2 really big ones, and they're perfect for carrying things back and forth to your stove. So let's slice up our salmon. I am using a ceramic knife. Now, I have a lot of people ask me, why would you use a ceramic knife over a stainless steel knife? And I promise you guys, especially those of you in my community, that I will always share with you cooking tips, not just products, right? And so the reason why you would want to go with a ceramic knife is because ceramic knives stay sharper longer, but you do have to pamper it. So think of your ceramic knife like your cashmere sweater, right? You don't wash it in the washing machine. You don't throw it in with everything else. You take really good care of it, right? And so your ceramic knife is the same way. If you want it to stay sharp and you want it to continue to deliver for you, then you want to hand wash it. You don't want to put it in the dishwasher. But I'm telling you, it just glides through everything. Things like carrots, things like potatoes, sweet potatoes that are difficult to cut. If you ever cut a sweet potato and just went flying across, am I the only one? Am I the only one? It just goes flying across. You're trying to cut a carrot, it just goes flying across. You don't have to worry about that when you have a really good knife that literally cuts through it like butter. This knife does it, and it's 20% off right now. So make sure if you are shopping on my website or any of my consultants' website on TM Expansion, you grab this knife while it is on sale. So our salmon is already cut. Now somebody's gonna ask, why did you just cut the salmon? Why didn't you just cook it, as a fillet, which I could have done, but I chose not to do that because we want it to go fast, right? We want this bowl to come together quickly. So we're just gonna sear the salmon on both sides, and literally it's gonna be done in 2 minutes if, my heat is right. And so this is our Asian stir fry seasoning. I'm gonna add just a little bit of this, to our salmon here. And again, those Asian flavors, we're gonna pull all the flavors together. It's gonna be a teriyaki bowl, right? So we wanna stick with those Asian flavors. And this has garlic, it's got ginger, it's got sesame, it's got orange peel, some red bell pepper, it's got onion, all of the amazing flavors that we're used to when we're stir frying. So we're just gonna season this up a little bit. I also have SPG. My community will tell you, this is my all-time favorite seasoning that Epicure has. It's SPG, salt, pepper, garlic. It is the all-purpose seasoning of all-purpose seasonings, okay? It is perfection. You can use it on chicken, you can use it on steak, you can use it on salmon, as we're about to do. You can use it on vegetables and eggs, on potatoes. It is the perfect all-purpose seasoning. And when we get down to just one full bottle or one full jar, my husband's always like, okay, we need to order SPG. And I'm like, are we out? And he's like, no, but we need to back up to the backup to the backup. So that is one of the ones that we keep on hand because it is perfect for literally everything. All right, so our salmon is seasoned up. I'm gonna set that aside here, and then we're gonna saute our vegetables. Nice. Let's just get it going. Now I'm going to season this up just a little bit with that same Asian seasoning. Again, you want to tie all of these flavors together, right? Bring out that Asian profile. And then I'm going to add a little sesame soy or a little soy sauce to it. Perfect. Oh, it already smells good in here. Yes. Smells amazing. All right, we're going to turn our fan on just a little bit. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so that is done. Now, here's what I want you guys to know about sauteing vegetables. You do not want to cook the life out of your vegetables. I see people do that all the time, right? It's like they cook it and cook it and cook it until it's limp. You do not want that because you're killing all the nutritional value that's in your vegetables. And especially when you've got a dinner bowl like this, you don't want to cook all the life out of it. The whole purpose is for it to be nutritious, right? To be nutrient dense, the entire bowl, so that you can get good carbs and good protein and good fats and all of those antioxidants and phytonutrients that we were talking about. You want it all, so don't kill it. Don't kill it by cooking the life out of your vegetables. So you want your carrots still with a little crunch. You want your kale, there's kale in there, there are Brussels sprouts in there. You want those to still have a little bit of crunch. So when you add the soy sauce to the vegetables, it's gonna wilt it just a little bit. So don't keep cooking it, right? Don't keep cooking it. So our rice has 30 seconds left on the rice, and then we're going to actually build. So while that is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and saute our salmon on both sides. It's gonna take about 2 minutes, and then we're gonna put our bowl together. So if you came in late and you missed the 7 components and you're taking notes, I'm gonna give you those 7 components quickly. The very first thing that you need is a base, right? So again, that could be rice. In our case, we're using jasmine rice, but you can use brown rice, you can use red rice, you can use any kind of rice. You can also use quinoa or even a combination of rice and quinoa. You can use millet, you can use noodles, right? You can use pasta of any kind. You could even use lettuce as your base, right? And so what you want is a nutritious base that's gonna be hearty and filling, and you wanna put that at the bottom of your bowl. And then on top, you wanna make sure you have some cooked vegetables, that's number 2. Cooked vegetables. Number 3 is greens. You want to make sure that you got some greens. Now we put our greens in our vegetables. So I've got kale in there. There's cabbage in there. There's Napa cabbage as well. And there's also regular cabbage in there. So our greens are in our vegetables, but you could certainly slice up some spinach. You can slice up some romaine, even some Napa cabbage, and put that on your bowl as well and leave it raw. But you just want to make sure that you have greens. You want greens in your body every day. Whether you juice it in the morning, eat it as a green salad, or put it on your dinner bowl, right? So greens. So you've got your base, number 2, cooked vegetables, number 3, greens, number 4, you want something raw. In our case, we're using snow peas, right? I love these things. So we're gonna use snow peas, but you can have raw cabbage, you can have raw carrots for texture. You can put anything that you want on there, but you want something raw, something great for texture. And then number 5, you want to make sure you've got a good fat. So nuts and seeds, right? Again, that could be almonds, it could be cashews, it could be walnuts, it could be pepitas if you want those. I love those on a dinner bowl. You could use hemp seeds or flax seeds. You could use chia seeds, any kind of seeds or nuts, right? Because again, you're going to get good fats, and that good fats are heart healthy. So you want to make sure you do that. We're using almonds, sliced almonds today. And so that's your number 5, I believe. Number 6 is you got to have protein, right? Protein, we're using salmon. Again, it doesn't have to be salmon. You could go to Mexico and do like a fajita seasoned chicken on top of a bowl. Think of, say, Chipotle or Qdoba when you go and get a burrito bowl, right? Those are also dinner bowls. You can make that at home and control the salt and control the sugar, right? You can make it at home. So you can use chicken, you can use shrimp. We're using salmon, steak. You can use beans if you'd like, if you prefer beans for your protein, but you do need a protein. And I would say at least 2 ounces, at least. 4 would be ideal, but at least 2 ounces of protein. And then the last thing, number 7, is a sauce to bring it all together. So if it is a Mexican bowl, then you might want to use a queso, right? If it is a Mediterranean bowl, then you might want to use like a balsamic vinaigrette or some kind of lemon dill vinaigrette. The lemon dilly that Epicure makes is fantastic in a sauce or a dressing on the top of a dinner bowl. So those are the 7 parts. My pan is ready. We're just going to sear up our salmon, and then we're going to build. I see you guys all coming in. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. I am not watching the chat because I don't have the capacity to watch the chat and cook at the same time. But put them in the chat and I'll be sure to answer them for you. Nice, that's a good, you want that nice sizzle when you put your protein in the pan. That means your pan is hot enough. If it is not hot enough, it will boil and not sear, which is what you do not want. Awesome. Now, while that sears, I want to show you the perfection that is this rice. We're going to use our silicone spoon. Now, I know like this is a huge fan favorite in my community. If you do not have the Epicure utensils, you want to get them. For you, I don't know if you're anything like me, but I used to have wooden utensils and aluminum and metal utensils, and they would break and the handles would break off. How many times you have those silicone, like the tongs that have the silicone little lips part, the little tongs part, and it comes off in your sauce? That has happened to me so many times. I love these things. Why? Because they don't break, they don't bend, they don't melt if you put them close enough to your burner. They are perfection. They're sturdy, and I'm telling you, you will never go back to using regular utensils when you start using silicone. These things are amazing. So we're going to use our spoon, and I'm just going to stir this up right quick. Oh my gosh, this is going to give you the flavor of fried rice without having to fry the rice. So I want you to see this. I'm going to do my best to show you how perfectly the rice comes out in this steamer. It is perfectly, look at that. It's perfectly fluffy. It is seasoned. It smells amazing. It cooked up in the broth, so you know it's gonna have flavor. It's got a little soy sauce in there. It's got all of these sesame seeds and dried carrots, and it's going to taste like a fried rice without you having to fry the rice, which is more nutritious. Yes, and I told you this thing is amazing. It steams, it fries, it boils, it bakes. It does all the things. It's magic. I say it all the time. So we're going to put that there and just let that sit until our salmon is done. It should be ready to flip. So we're going to flip it right quick. These are our, I forget what they're called, grab and go, grip and grab. They're called grip and grab. I'm used to calling them tongs. They're called grip and grab. They are silicone as well. Again, safe up to well over 400 degrees. So you don't have to worry about them melting or breaking or bending or anything like that. They are perfection. So let's flip these right quick. Yes, good. Okay, so these are good. And then we're gonna build. Oh my gosh, it smells so good in here. It smells amazing. If you guys have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and I will be sure to answer them for you. Okay, so I'm going to turn those off. I'm just going to let them finish browning. You do not want to overcook salmon. You do not. When salmon is dried out, it loses all of its flavor. It is just not good. And salmon is so good for you. It's loaded with omega-3s. So when you eat it, it's just heart healthy. It gives you great fat. It's so good for you. I actually had another chef tell me that she had problems with her cholesterol. And she went to the doctor and they're like, you got to get on this medication. She refused to get on the medication. And she went back home and changed her diet. And she went back to the doctor in 45 days. And the doctor asked her, what did you do? Because your levels, your cholesterol levels, your LDL levels are all normal. What did you do? And she said, I added salmon to my diet 3 times a week. If that gives you any idea of how good salmon is for you and how great it is for your heart. So if you can include salmon, sustainable, of course, in your diet, make sure you do that. And Epicure has some amazing seasonings for salmon specifically. All right, so let's build this bowl. Now, if you are in my community, I want to do a giveaway for those in the Cook with Coach community. If you know what is the final step to everything that I cook? What is the final step to everything that I cook? If you know what that final step is, I want you to put it in the chat. I'm going to do a giveaway. You can actually choose any meal solution in the catalog and I will mail it to you if you know what that final step is. Now, if you are not in my community, thank you for being here. I definitely want to give a shout out to Team Expansion and all of the consultants that are on Team Expansion. If you are in any of their communities, welcome. Thank you so much for being supportive of them and for ordering from them and for blessing your family with these low sodium, low sugar, and gluten-free seasonings and meal solutions. So let's go ahead and begin to build our bowl. And while we do that, I want to make sure that you know, because I always get the question, well, how do I epicure? How do I get started, right? What are the things that I can do to get started with this epic lifestyle that you guys always talk about, this lifestyle of low sodium, low sugar, gluten-free, healthy foods, right? Even though it's fast and it comes together in 20 minutes or less, it is still healthy. Even though you may see that they are in packets, because usually if you see a packet or a box, you know it's loaded with MSG, right? You know it's loaded with artificial flavorings and colorings and sweeteners, and it's not good for you. That is not the case with anything from Epicure. I always say when you see that E, you can trust it. I love this E. You can stand behind the brand because we have what's called the never ever list, right? That is a list of things that you will never ever find in any Epicure meal solution or seasonings, right? And again, it includes things like added MSG, nitrates and nitrites, artificial flavorings, artificial colorings, hydrogenated oils, all of those things that are not good for you that you would typically find on your grocery store shelves, you will never find in any of our meal solutions or any of our seasonings. So if you're wondering, how do I get started? What do I do to start this Epicure life? Well, the first thing that you could do is you can place an order, right? You can place an order and try a few things with, the person who invited you to this cooking class. If you're in my community, then, my link is always pinned up at the top of the Cook with Coach community, but you could just go and browse the website, buy a few things. And I get a lot of people asking, well, where do I start? What do I buy? I always say, get a couple seasonings, get a couple meal solutions, and get some kind of cookware, get some silicone, right? Because silicone will change your life. That would be the perfect place to start. It's just, order some things, try a few things, have your family try some things and see what you like. I guarantee you will enjoy the food that you make and you will enjoy the time that you save, right? So we've got some rice at the bottom of our bowl. And so now we're gonna add our vegetables. Now, the other thing that you could do to get started with Epicure is, if you're anything like me, you wanted all the things, right? That was me. I wanted all the things. I wanted everything. I literally, I think my first order was about $65, almost $70. And so you could have a class like this one and just invite all of your friends and family to this online class. I will do it for you. Whoever invited you will do the cooking for you. And when your friends and your family order, then you will earn free things, right? So you can earn free and half price items. A lot of people will get their silicone half priced because the silicone tends to be a little bit more expensive than all of the seasonings. And so you could definitely, get all of those things free and half price by hosting a cooking class or a demo or a drop-in just like this one. And then the other way, which is my favorite way, is you can become a consultant. You have to cook dinner anyway, right? Why not get paid to make dinner? This is going to be my dinner. This is also going to be my husband's dinner when he gets home from work. And I literally just came online and made it on camera for you guys, right? You could do this, right? How easy would it be for you to just become an ambassador of the brand? And I tell you, it is a brand that you can stand behind. You will absolutely love it. Team Expansion is literally committed to sharing this Epicure brand with families all over North America, because I believe that we need to eat better. We need to eat a lot more healthy and care for our bodies and care for our families, and stop eating so much takeouts and literally steer clear of the drive-through, right? So this is our effort to make sure that families know that you could still eat well and eat healthy and get dinner on the table in 20 minutes or less and still have it taste amazing. This is going to be amazing. So we've got cooked vegetables here. This is already so pretty. So I'm going to leave that half for my husband. He's probably not going to eat all the vegetables. He is the only person, y'all, and he's not going to watch this video. Y'all don't tell him, but he doesn't eat any vegetables. I had to literally put it in things. I've got to like make chicken fried rice and put peas and carrots and onions and stuff in it for him to eat it. So if it's tossed in soy sauce, he'll eat anything. He has an Asian heart. So we've got our cooked vegetables, which was number 2. So our base is number 1. Our cooked vegetables is number 2. Our greens is number 3. Those are also in our vegetables. As you'll see, it's got kale in there already. And then we've got our snow peas, which I love raw. So we're going to put those down. And we've got, you know, really great nutrients in snow peas, so good for you. So we're gonna put those down. And then remember I said we need good fats, right? So then I'm gonna put some of these almonds on here. Not a whole lot, right? Not even a tablespoon. We're gonna put some almonds on here. And then I'm actually gonna put a little bit more cooked vegetables on this side. We're gonna put our salmon on top. This is so pretty. Wait till you guys see what it looks like. Did you already put in the chat what finishes all of these meals? I don't want to do it until you guys have already taken it, because I want somebody to win this meal solution. So we're going to put our salmon right here across the top. This is so pretty. This is gorgeous. So we're going to put our salmon right here across the top. We'll put about, let's say 6 of these little medallions. Gorgeous. Uh-oh. Gorgeous. That's so pretty. And then the final thing is, of course, we've got this sauce. Now, I told you it's teriyaki, right? And so I'm going to move this so that I could show you guys what this beautiful bowl looks like. And we're going to dress it with this sauce. We're just going to drizzle it right across the top, because this is going to bring it all together. And we're going to drizzle that right across the top, just like that. Oh my goodness. I wish you could see and smell. I know you wish you had smell-o-vision. It smells amazing in here. This bowl at an Asian restaurant would probably cost you, with salmon, about $15 or $16, if not more, depending upon, you know, the restaurant that you go to. But it hasn't cost us near as much, right? And it's low sodium and it's low sugar, right? That teriyaki sauce would take it over the top if you got it at a restaurant. Literally, it would be loaded with brown sugar. But our teriyaki sauce is low sugar, like I said. And so it's got all these amazing flavors. It's got all of these Asian, you know, you got the fried rice at the bottom that's not fried. You've got your cooked vegetables, your raw vegetables. You've got your slivered almonds. You've got your salmon that's been seared perfectly and seasoned with Asian seasoning. You also have that teriyaki sauce across the top. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Is that not beautiful? Now, you always finish with some kind of citrus, right? And so we've got some citrus here. We've got, you know, an orange, we've got a lemon, and we also have a lime. Now, depending on the kind of bowl that you do, if this were a Mexican bowl and it had, say, a Mexican rice with some, fajita seasoned chicken, and it had, some Mexican and some Mexican flavored vegetables, some tomatoes, and maybe some peppers and onions and all of this on here, right? And you want that queso across the top, then you would use a lime, right? Because that would bring it all together. Let's say, for instance, it was a Mediterranean bowl and you had put some brown rice on the bottom, and you had, some feta cheese, and you got olives, and you got, some cooked onions and peppers, and then you laid a Mediterranean or a dill flavored or seasoned salmon fillet or steak across the top, and you drizzled it with a balsamic vinaigrette or any kind of lemony, herby vinaigrette, then you would want a slice of lemon in your plate. Yes? Do you see what I'm saying? But we are going to use orange today. Why? Because I love orange and teriyaki together. And you might be wondering, Coach, why do you put citrus on every plate? Well, it looks pretty, right? It looks pretty, but even more than that, citrus helps you to digest your food. So when you go to a restaurant and you've got this beautiful plate in front of you, and there's a wedge of lemon or a wedge of lime, that's not just decoration for your plate. You should actually take that wedge and squeeze the citrus across the top of your plate, because it helps to break down the fats that are in the plate. So if it's been fried or if it's been sauteed in oil, having that citrus is going to help to break down the fats in your body. It's going to help you to digest whatever you've just eaten. So we've got this big, beautiful bowl of all of this goodness. You want to make sure you digest it well. So we're going to take this lemon or this orange, and we're going to literally squeeze it across the top, and it's going to mix with that teriyaki sauce. And I promise you, you are going to be licking your fingers. You are going to absolutely love this bowl. Look at how beautiful that is. Look at how gorgeous that is. And it is loaded with nutrients for your body. It does not get any easier or any faster than that. I'm so excited to eat that while it's still hot. I will take some pictures for you so that you can see how beautiful it is, but I want you to make this at home. I want you to try this recipe in your kitchen for your family. You will love it. They will love it. And you're going to love everything epic that you order. So again, the 3 ways to Epicure is to go and place an order on any of the websites of those on Team Expansion. If I personally invited you, you can certainly go to my website. If any of them invited you, go to their website, place an order, and try some of these seasonings, some of the meal solutions, and certainly some of these kitchen tools, especially those that are on sale 20% off, like this ceramic knife. You could also, again, book and host a class like this one so that you could get all of these things for free or half price. And the third way is you can become an ambassador of the brand, just like we have decided to do. I would love to have you on Team Expansion. I will train you. We'll have you get, all of your questions, answers, get your website up so that you could begin doing this exact same thing and making money while you do it. If you're looking for a second stream, if you're looking for, a part-time income, we would love to have you on Team Expansion. Certainly reach out to whoever invited you to this class. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for What's for Dinner. We have had this beautiful teriyaki bowl for dinner, and I'm about to dive in. Thank you so much for cooking with Coach. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat, and I will be sure to answer those questions for you. Take good care and have a good night. Make it epic. Bye.